In a time lost, there lay an ominous tale of a warrior fated to wield a sword of immense power. The sword of the spirits, the Demiurge blade, a sword entwined within mystic Gnostic lore. This story unfolds in an age where hope had withered, and the shadow of malevolence loomed ever closer, threatening to engulf all in its insatiable hunger. The sages of an ancient kingdom, hidden within a realm of magic that had long since dimmed, sensed the encroaching doom that slithered through the air like a serpent in a desperate bid for salvation. They summoned the most powerful being to ever exist, a warrior of light who answered their call, but the answer came wrapped in chaos. They could foresee the grim fate that awaited them, ready to devour their history and knowledge. The Light Warrior spoke of a great threat, an enemy hidden in the shadows, a creature of unimaginable malice who would seize control of one of the sages, a traitor who would open the gates to chaos. The kingdom would be left defenseless against a tide of bloodshed, rampaging through their lands, leaving ruin and despair in its wake. The sages, blinded by their hubris, gathered their champions, believing they were prepared, but the Light Warrior's warning echoed ominously upon deaf ears. Their efforts would be in vain. In a final desperate act, he forged a sword from the very essence of light, but this light was destined unknowingly to become the doom, whose true history was hidden by the weight of time's passage. The blade, etched with ancient runes, shimmered with an unsettling glow, promising power that could be either salvation or destruction. It could cut through stone as if it were air. Only one could wield it. The chosen one, marked by destiny to all others. It would be a burden, a weight that would crush thee asunder. The Light Warrior set forth to find this destined one, traversing valleys shrouded in mist and mountains that pierced the heavens. His journey led him to a forest where he encountered a boy, mischief gleaming in his eyes. This boy had his eye on something. The Light Warrior had crafted a peculiar instrument, a piccolo, from reeds and a lute, a testament and extension of his inner untainted spirit. Yet, the Light Warrior's heart was heavy with foreboding. When the boy, driven by greed, snatched the piccolo, the warrior pursued him swift as the gathering storm. With a flick of his wrist he ensnared the child, who lied in fear, denying his actions. In a fit of rage the warrior cursed him, transforming his lower half into that of a goat. "Since you wish to act like a beast, then a beast you shall be," he intoned, his voice echoing through the darkened woods. In that moment of fury, he realized his sword lay unguarded, vulnerable to the dark forces that had already begun to stir. The warrior foresaw the path of destiny twisting into a nightmare. He placed the boy as a guardian of the sword, sealing it within a stone pedestal, bound by 4 sacred objects. He prophesied that one day a young man would come seeking the sword, but only after being forged in the fires of battle would he become the warrior they needed. The Light Warrior failed to foresee what such things would cause, his heart tainted by the bloodlust that would consume his soul. The boy, though marked as the chosen one, was not yet the warrior they needed. Years turned to ash and the boy grew hardened by war, his heart darkened by the violence he had witnessed. When he finally returned to claim the sword, he emerged not as the savior, but as the very enemy he was destined to confront. The once hero turned tyrant unleashed his wrath upon the kingdoms, his armies drowning the land in suffering and despair. Had the Light Warrior misread the vision? How did he not see what was obviously in front of him? The savior, the chosen one, was the reincarnation of this boy he had found, destined to defeat his former life and what he had become. In their final act of desperation, the sages united to banish him to an island of exile, a cursed realm where the air was thick with poison, and the land itself seemed to mourn as this calamity unfurled. The world spiraled into chaos, a cataclysm struck, the great disaster that tore the earth apart, swallowing entire armies and laying waste to civilizations. The once majestic mountains erupted, spewing forth fire and ash, while the very ground crumbled beneath their feet, and all brought upon them by the power of this sword in the wrong hands. In the hands of the enemy, it became the catalyst of their destruction. Yet, in the shadows, a living darkness observed, Merylin, chaos incarnate, who had existed since before time began. He understood the nature of prophecy, and as the world spiraled into oblivion, he knew that the worthy warrior had yet to emerge. An epoch would pass, the light revealed until the destined king. Arthur, king of the Britons, would come. His reign would sow the seeds of justice and reveal the mystery of mankind's true purpose. To the chaos that pondered why mankind, this planet out of all others that emerged from the dawning of the first light, was so special, so protected by the light. For eons the darkness waited until the time of prophecy unfolded. When the chosen one would return, Merylin had watched and learned of the follies of being given a great destiny to fulfill. He knew what was needed to forge this boy into the warrior that was needed. So when the time came for the boy to begin his learned studies as an heir to his father's throne, Merylin appeared before the court of his father, offering his service as a teacher to the ways of alchemy and nature. He vowed to teach the boy of nature and how to ensure his kingdom's crops would flourish, how to foretell the coming of storms and rains that would be needed to help their crops grow, and the passage of season cycles so the people could prepare, anticipating the cycle's intensity so they could survive the harsh winter's bite. Here he would guide the boy in the knowledge he promised, but also prepare him for the challenges he must face in order to claim the sword of his destiny. These are the tales of Abregmerylin, the author of destiny, who sowed the seeds of this destiny to unfold. All things came to be by my will, as I write them to be. Not done out of righteous inspiration, not out of penance for some great evil deed done, but for the same reason that brought about creation's origin: sheer boredom.